the thing that struck me there on that weekend, which was in 2004.
Hi everyone, B. Crittenden Freeman here.
Being done on the weekend, and I've been taught a lot of things about sweat lodge as a kid, and you know, how they were supposed to be run, who was supposed to run them, who I was supposed to do them with and not do them with, and I was trying to be open. I was trying to be open, and I tolerated it. You know, it didn't sit right with me, but I tolerated it because I needed the technology. I needed to interact in these groups. And,
so here we are, and Mr. Taureau has shared
the best person I could be.
Experiences he had
so
at
I kind of
sweat
just stuffed
lodge.
it down.
But the assumption is all sweat lodges
people ask me how I
should
felt
be
about it,
a reflection of his experiences.
I was indigenous,
and that's wrong.
And I told them how I feel, that it felt awkward and I was uncomfortable with it, and I tried to have this sense that, you know, spirit was bigger than me, bigger than my preferences, and it was bigger than right and wrong, and that trying to just be okay with people doing the best they could. So. But people asked me a lot, and they asked, you know, hey, what could we do about this? But nobody ever did anything. And this was, you know, over 18 years ago now. And since then, throughout my time in the Mankind Project, I have climbed the leadership ladder. You know, I've taken all those workshops and become certified and passed certification panels and become.
And this is where I find it difficult that a person claims harm
international leader body
when they have staff 90 to 100 staffings
in the whole world,
been put on the top.
I continue to have these conversations with
of the heap,
requesting,
looked upon it with that, given all that power and privilege,
do what we can to stop
and
some
then
of these
claiming harm
problems, some of these things
from 2004 up until
to me around
2021. That is illogical.
That felt like it was being taken and used inappropriately and appropriated. You know, as in this day and time.
How is it used inappropriately?
All my discomfort.
How is it appropriation?
And
just because
one
does not like a thing does not mean it automatically fits a category.
To continue to do the sweat lodge, there was just excuses, you know, about why it should happen, and that I'm making a bigger deal out of it than I needed, and that I was wrong, and then really it just started to be the lies that were being told about having permission, and that I didn't understand, and I was confused. It didn't seem right, you know, but I was confused, and I was persuaded by the lies. And I was also outnumbered, you know, being one of so few of indigenous people a part of this organization, that it really seems to be, at this point, what I've come to understand.
Few that are part of the organization, or few that are actively participating in the organization.
That are wanting to do what they want to do. So, you know, just the more and the more lies and the more lies, and then to have people make me be wrong for having an issue with what seemed like I had every right to have an issue with. And then to be told that the only reason I have this problem is because I have unresolved issues. You know, I have wounds that need to be, you know, dealt with, and that doesn't have anything to do with people being allowed to do a sweat lodge.
I do agree you have wounds unresolved.
So,
and I'll cover that in the next video.
What happened was that a group of you know, of us, Trevor and Gabriel and Ryan were asked to just put together a very clear the reasons and what we saw, and just lay it out there, and that's what we did.
And I'll review that too.
And the reasons about what we saw was wrong, and we did that very, very clearly. And the part of the organization in the Mankind Project that's in charge of the Sweat Lodge is called the Lodge Keeper Society. And immediately after we did this presentation and began to bring this more and more over the last several years, there was opposing negative force from the Lodge Keeper Society about, they didn't get an opportunity to have a voice and an opposing view and to get to explain themselves. And then being told that, we had the wrong information, we were presenting the wrong information. And when we asked them what was wrong about it, not really getting a clear answer. And,
no, you got clear answers. You're just not accepting them as clear.
They have permission, and to be told this was a really good one that, we didn't understand, and I didn't understand because I don't know how spiritual traditions work. And
well, whoever said that to you is out of line. No one should have said that to you, Chance.
Understand how tradition is passed down so that they could do what they were doing. And then I was told that I was arrogant and that I was a know-it-all, and all of this stuff really just continued to ignore.
And that's what we call ad hominem attacks. And no one should be doing a character assassination on anyone. Stick to the topic, please.
Has examples of indigenous men that have come and been able to partake in the Lodge Keepers, sect of the organization and learn about indigenous practices, and that do I really want to end something that would deny those indigenous men the opportunity to learn about their own culture? And that was brought to me several times when I said, this is hurtful and this is wrong. And basically as an opposition, and really to just distract from how hurtful and how harmful it is just to kind of paint this picture of all the good things that it does, which continue to just not deal with the issue, which is what continues to happen. The issue is not being dealt with, and more lies and more excuses and being made wrong more and more and more. And so I'm at the point where I don't belong. I don't belong in the Mankind Project.
Well, that's a choice. That's a choice, and that's a judgment.
All of the ways that I could bring,
and that's okay if you wish to make that choice.
It's not working. It's not working, and I'm outnumbered, and the amount of men that are so attached to it, involved at political levels and institutional levels, I don't know. I can't. There's nothing else I can do. So another problem that I had is them saying that, it's not appropriation because there's been a really clear exchange. There's been some reciprocity around, them receiving permission to do the Sweat Lodge, and in return they, are going back to help benefit Native
I'd like
people.
to hear the details of that.
I don't see any clear indication or evidence that it is benefiting indigenous people as a whole. What I'm seeing is that it's benefiting, a few Native people. And
wait a minute.
What I can sense
you're
is that,
putting on a condition
people are kind of creating
that no one has agreed to.
This is cool. This is a good thing.
Benefiting indigenous people as a whole.
Beneficial to indigenous people.
That's wrong.
Indigenous people as a culture. And so the other thing that's been occurring is, just to have the lineage of the permission just to be explained over and over and over, and just sent out and communicated and sent out by email over and over and over.
And
every
what's
time,
wrong with that?
I've brought up, or anyone has brought up, an issue with the appropriation of the Sweat Lodge and the many, many other indigenous things that were woven into the Mankind Project's weekend, that, I've just been made wrong, and people are angry at me that I'm trying to, people are saying I'm trying to destroy the Mankind Project. And
that should never happen. Again, that's an ad hominem attack.
Wouldn't be able to ground themselves at the end of the workshop, which is badly needed. So, and then to have that now be at the end is, I'm now being asked again, just in the last week, to explain. Please explain what exactly is so offensive, or what is it that's so wounding about the sweat lodge ceremony? After having laid it out so clearly,
you haven't. It has not been laid out clearly, Chance.
Over and over and over and over and over. I'm just exhausted.
That's enough.